Take a second to draw your attention to something that's really important but tends to be overlooked in Ontario. The Ford government is trying to pass Bill 71 this summer, also known as the Building More Mines Act. Man, this government really has a way for naming things. And the Ontario government is passing this law without first consulting First Nations. This is because of a Supreme Court case that rules that governments do not have to consult with First Nations before creating new laws. This bill is basically going to strip away the rights for First Nations communities, making it more likely that businesses are going to end up polluting their air and their water, giving them less power in negotiations and discussions. And one of the changes is also that they're lowering the environmental standard for mines. Previous wording for mines in Ontario was that they had to leave the land in a better condition than they found it. Basically, after you build these mines and make your hundreds of millions of dollars, you should be investing some of that money back into the local community, back into the area where you were mining, to make sure that it becomes a natural habitat once again. Under the Ford government, no more. First Nations are starting to fight back, with one ordering a stop to mineral exploration in its territories, and 10 First Nations involved in litigation where they demand pre-informed consent. Essentially, Canada is moving towards a future where these mining operations are critical to our economy. So while the pragmatist in me says yes, we need to build mines, I'm also fully aware that this is unceded territory, and we need to work together with First Nations communities. And on top of that, we should be making sure that the land is beautiful and reclaimed once the mining is done. The Ford government isn't interested in any of that. The Ford government doesn't care about Indigenous communities. The Ford government doesn't care about the environment. And yes, these critical minerals are super important for our economy, but that doesn't mean that we can neglect the rest of our duties.